Missouri voters could soon decide whether they want to require work for Medicaid coverage. The Missouri House just passed a bill which would put this question directly to you, the voter. Hannah Falcon has been digging into what this could mean if it moves forward.
We want to make sure that people have access to health insurance because that's the most important thing for someone to survive a diagnosis like cancer.
Emily Calmer with American Cancer Society is concerned a proposed amendment to Missouri's constitution will cause some cancer patients and survivors to lose coverage.
The federal law provides some exemptions for short-term hardship, and this joint resolution is saying that Missouri won't have those short-term hardship exemptions.
The proposed amendment was approved by the Republican-led Missouri House. Representative Darren Chappell modeled it after the federal Medicaid work requirements.
We're not trying to ignore the fact that people need help, but at the same time, it ought not become a lifestyle.
To keep Medicaid, Missourians will have to work or volunteer 80 hours a month or be enrolled in a university or trade program. There are exceptions for pregnant women, people with disabilities, and children. Because the federal work requirements are going into effect in January 2027 regardless, Democratic lawmakers call this redundant.
There's no reason to do this. It's really designed to humiliate and degrade people and to push the message out that people receiving Medicaid are lazy.
Representative Chappell calls it insurance, a safeguard in case a future administration tries to change the Medicaid program.
I think it's pretty common sense that most Missourians would agree with.
The bill is now headed to the Senate. If lawmakers approve it there, Missouri voters get the final say in November. Reporting in Jefferson City, I'm Hannah Falcon.